Not every gamer is a hardcore gamer, and many mobile gamers are looking for casual style games that they can play when they have a few minutes to game. Today I'm sharing with you some of the most recommended casual mobile games for players just like that. Coming in at number 1 is Gun Stickman. As you could tell from the graphics alone, a very casual style game. But at the same time, the game actually looks like it's a lot of fun and has a lot of addictability to it as well. The characters inside of the game, although very simplistic in artwork style, are actually really well put together with artwork that's legit. They look really nice. The color patterns inside of the game are also really nice, leaving you with an experience that is pleasant on the eyes. With that being said, the progression inside of the game is really fun and actually quite addicting, as you can level up your weapons, get new weapons, and take down bigger enemies as you progress through the game. It's definitely a platformer style game, lending to the simplicity and casualness of it, but it also has those mechanics for upgrade that really make you want to come back and play longer than you originally anticipated. So when you have some time in your day for a new platformer that's very simple yet addicting and fun, this is one that you really have to consider. I recommend it. Next up, we have Major Mayhem 2, which is a single-player shooter style experience that also lends itself to being simple, but I actually like this one because of the actual mechanic of the game. You're shooting into the game versus in a normal, traditional platformer style, which is something that's very different and unique for this one, although it still is very casual in gameplay. With this being said, there are tons of different enemies that you're going to encounter along the way, big bosses that actually look very big inside of the game, and different weapons as usual that you can use. I think the standout mechanic here is how you're shooting into the game as if you're actually the player versus in a normal platformer style. I like this one, it's very different. Next we have Metal Ranger, and this is a two-dimensional shooting style platformer game that is actually fairly slow in pace. As you can tell, your character kind of looks like a RoboCop and is taking down a bunch of different enemies that it encounters along the way in a platformer style game. You're in this alien world trying to clear out anything that comes your way, as you typically do, but as you're noticing, there's no jump, there's no run, there's no slide, it's all just back and forth movement mechanics, lending itself to the casual simplicity of this game. I personally really do like the different weapons that you have here, and this is something that you could kind of like one finger play as you go, because it's that simple. Coming in at number 4 is Ragdoll Fists, which is a very simplistic stick art style brawler. It's a battling game where you dive in and you just beat the crap out of people with these goofy little stick figures. I like how it's built on grid paper, making it really leave and have that simplicity in mind when you're playing this one. So I'd say that so far on the list today, this is the most simple and easiest, least effort style game. With that being said, there is something that is really adoring about the simplicity inside of this one. At number 5, we have gun shooting games. Very simple name, pretty simple mechanic as well. I really like the comic book artwork style that this game offers, and the slow-mo bullet ability here is something different than any others on the list here today. The weapons also in the game are pretty cool. These sniper battler style games have been popular since mobile games became a thing. I think this one lends itself to its place on the list. Because of the artwork style, it kind of reminds me of a Borderlands style game as far as artwork goes, but the gameplay itself, very different. Definitely one of the more popular casual ones though. At number 6, we have Soul Knight, which is an RPG style game that is very Zelda in style, but a lot faster and a lot more new age than some of the original Zelda games. It is quite fun. I like the whole block mechanic, like you go room to room as you would back in the day in a Zelda game. But here, the upgrades that you can do to your character are actually quite insane, lending itself to the fun element of this game. With that said, it still remains true to the casual style game that we're focused on here today. And to be very honest with you, this one could be on many of lists. It could be on an action game, a most popular games. This game is something that a lot of people have enjoyed for quite some time. And when you talk to mobile gamers and you ask for their top 10 games they've ever played on mobile, many will mention Soul Knight because the game is that good. And it's a casual game as well, so definitely fits multiple lists, but it's one that you really can't go wrong trying. It's one of my favorites on the list here today. At number 7, we have Dragon Hills 2, which is a platformer style game, which does what all platformers do. You go from side to side and take out enemies along the way. In this case, you're playing as a pretty cool dragon that could be upgraded in insane mechanics. You may notice that a lot of the games today on the list that are really focused on being casual are platformer style games, being a more simplistic gameplay style overall. With that being said, this one brings a lot of fun, a little bit of humor, some great colors and graphics inside of the game, and it has some speed to it as well. It's not super slow moving, so it's going to definitely keep you entertained in those short bursts of time. At number 8, we have Bomb Squad, which is a multiplayer title, and the name basically tells you what you're doing. You are taking down your opponents in multiplayer battles with bombs. Many different zones and modes that you could be playing within, but at the end of the day, the task is the same. Blow up your opponent with the bombs that you have in hand. You have different types of sports-themed ones as well as platformer-style games as well. Lots of customization inside of the game and really just a lot of fun. This one's definitely a silly one that a lot of people enjoy if you're looking for multiplayer. At number 9, we have Into the Dead 2. This is a game that I personally really do enjoy. It's an endless runner where you're not controlling the movement besides the back and forth and the up and down over the fences, but you're more controlling the weapons as you are slaughtering the enemies that come in your way. The game is extremely fun, and being that it's that endless runner style, it lends itself well to being a casual game. But there is story inside of the game, there are really cool weapons that you could upgrade, and there is no shortage of zombies that you need to kill on your journey. Super fun game, also quite addicting and really exciting. At number 10, we have Crossy Road, and I know that you guys knew this was going to be on the list. This game is really a lot of fun, but very simplistic and casual in nature. You're playing as a pixelated creature trying to cross the road. The further you go into the game, the more crossings have been successful. You don't get struck by a vehicle, you don't jump in the water, and you win. Very simple idea, but the gameplay itself is actually not very simple. I like the simplicity of the graphics. The pixelization is intentional and gorgeous. At the same time, the colors are on point, and the gameplay, which is the most important, is really just a lot of fun. And the bonus game I have for you today is The Walking Zombie 2. A really goofy style zombie shooter where you have a little home base where you could do all of your upgrading, and then you go out on missions and take out zombies. The game is actually quite fun. If you guys want to stay up to date on what the best games are to play in all different genres and even know my personal opinions on them, make sure you subscribe to the channel because I put out videos for you every day.